Danielle Devers. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Student Health and Wellbeing, and with me today is Keely Alexander Franco, who uses she, her pronouns, from the Career Center. Keely is here to talk about picking a major. Keely, is it more important to determine a career path or more important to determine a major?
Yeah, so deciding on a major and a career is really it's a process. It's not a one-time thing and it really does take some time. So it's not always linear. The way I'm going to answer this question actually is to say what's more important is to determine your strengths and your interests and your values and your skills. And what I mean by that is that it's most important to get to know yourself before you do any major career exploration. And so it's like asking those questions of what do I love to do? What am I good at? What's important to me? What would a favorable work environment look like for me? And in regard to, what are you good at? What are your strengths? Think about fields or topics of study that interest you, because that's going to be really the part of the core of how you pick a major, how you pick a career. And even though it might seem like that's something that would be easy to come up with, we actually see that it can be overwhelming or difficult sometimes for students to actually sit down and articulate that. So trying to think of those things that you enjoy doing and talking about is really important. And then of course I mentioned strengths and values. Identify what you're good at, what your talents are, and how you can apply those. And then as far as values, it goes back to that piece of what's important to you. They Values play a crucial role in career satisfaction. So being able to answer that question is really at the beginning. And once you grasp these things, being able to articulate your interests, your strengths, and your values, you can really start from there exploring majors and careers in a more meaningful way than you could if you didn't start with that reflection first.
So, how can a student explore their interests to determine what major is the best fit?
Yeah, so at the Career Center, we highly encourage students to start by talking with someone. Your network can be a really, really great resource. And so that someone can be family, friends, faculty members, advisors, mentors, or professionals in a field that you're interested in. And at the Career Center, we also have people that you can talk to as well, career specialists and career counselors. So that talking piece is kind of the first part. But then one of my other suggestions and favorite tools that MU students have access to is an online assessment available through the Career Center website called the Focus 2. It's free for MU students, and it is an assessment that asks you questions and helps you identify your interests and your values and your skills. And so what it does is that it helps to match you with specific majors that Mizzou offers and occupations and career fields that match your profile and the way that you've answered those questions. And so it's not telling you, it's not a horoscope. It doesn't tell you what you should do, but it says, hey, the way you answer these questions look like people in these majors and they look like people in these career fields. And so then it from there really just allows you to explore both majors and careers that are compatible with you and kind of a starting off point to figure out where you could be doing some more research.
And what should a student do if they think they've picked the wrong major?
Okay, yeah. So I've mentioned self-reflection several times, so I'm going to harp back on that. Really self-reflect about why it feels like the wrong major and do that in conversation with people, whether that's, your support system or a career specialist, a mentor, advisor, a career counselor. Because I think the why it feels like the wrong major is a really important clue for you and how your next steps would go. But then, explore what would be a better fit based on your interests and your values and your strengths and your goals, like we talked about. And actually, I'll plug the Discovery Center on campus. So the Discovery Center works with both the Career Center, but they work with students and have advisors who meet with students who are either exploring and haven't decided on a major yet, or students who are in a major, but they're considering changing. Their staff is available to meet and have discussions like that as well. And so I just try to tell students not to feel overwhelmed when they do feel like they're in a wrong major, because that can I know elicit so much anxiety and worry. And where is my life going? So really kind of talk, get the support that you need, and there are supports on campus for that. But again, it's a process. You know, picking a major, picking a career path isn't a one-time thing, and so really be proactive and engaged in career decisions is a good thing for student, while also recognizing that you don't have to choose your entire career path right now in this moment at Mizzou.